Being a run-and-gun filmmaker or video producer or photographer is challenging and conditions are most likely not ideal, but sometimes you have to work with what you're given. Whether it's cramming all the principal photography you need into a very short period of time or working in a chaotic shooting environment, such as a live event or shooting a documentary or even in a war zone, you have to be able to think on your feet during such instances. Besides, as much as we all want to, not all photographers, videographers, or filmmakers have the luxury to set up and prep for a shoot leisurely at the beginning, so having run-and-gun skills is critical. Hang out till the end of this video because I'm going to share with you my 7 best tips for run-and-gun shooting to improve your photography, video production, and filmmaking work. Hi, I'm Jim Costa. I'm a full-time working photographer, video producer, video editor, and technology pro. I want to get going on the topic quickly, but do stick around till the end of this video because I'll tell you about some freebies and training courses I offer to improve your photography, video production, and filmmaking work, and to help grow your business through something known as earned media exposure, which is basically through free advertising. If you like what you see, smash that subscribe button and hit that bell to be notified every time I upload a new video each and every Wednesday. Remember, I welcome your comments, questions, and more on all of my videos. Being a run-and-gun shooter is about always being ready for the next shot, because in many of these situations, you only get one chance for that shot. It's about having a small number of people, or maybe just you yourself alone, performing the duties of 10 conventional production roles, while also being quick to adapt to any situational changes. But most importantly, it's about getting images and footage that exceed your client's expectations and making it look like you had an entire production team with you, despite operating with a very small crew at a super fast pace. Run-and-gun cinematography or photography is really common these days, where traditional shoots have the luxury of a fixed set. Filming on the go requires you to capture the same cinematic quality while being constantly moving from one location to the next. So what kind of strategies can you employ on your next run-and-gun project? Well, here are my best tips. Number 1, organize from the get-go. The best way to stay organized on a shoot is to start out organized from minute 1. There's nothing worse than heading to a location and realizing that you have a dead battery, or you forgot one of your lenses, or you don't have a media card, or whatever. You have to prepare your gear ahead of time. Carry the essential items you know you will need, but be critical about it too. Maybe keep on your person what is absolutely critical, such as extra batteries or media cards or whatever, but keep your extra gear in the car. That's the, maybe I'll need it items. Make sure your camera is in the correct settings or modes, and don't forget to bring lots of clean memory cards with you. You want to be realistic about your schedule. While you can always adjust your shoot schedule on the run, hopefully, setting aside specific time for interviews, B-roll shots, and setup assures you don't miss things you absolutely had hoped to capture. Number 2, speaking of time, schedule time for problem solving if you can. That being said, a good tip for producing projects is to give yourself time for problem solving. During production, it's important to have buffers of time here and there to explore new discoveries and to try different creative approaches. Whether that means some more in-depth interview questions or challenging B-roll shots, scheduling time for creativity and innovation can give your story a thematic and cinematic boost. You need to remember, however, that you may have little to no control over the schedule of what's happening, so you need to make use of every available second in order to get the footage or images you need. Number 3, backups are your best friend. A lot of run and gun shoots are done on the road, and in these cases, you want to make sure you brought backups of everything. Always have backup cables, batteries, chargers, storage, antennas, Velcro, gaff tape, and so forth. You don't want to be the one holding up production, or worse, missing a shot that won't be repeated because you ran out of something or a cable was busted or whatever. Number 4, when shooting interviews or documentary footage, get interviewed subjects to say and spell their names on camera while recording. During production, a documentary producer is responsible for documenting and charting sources, names, titles, and consent forms. However, if you're running and gunning an interview, a good tip is to get the subject to pronounce their name and spell it at the beginning of your recording. You can also get them to state their preferred title or titles for lower thirds and get their consent to actually appear in your project. Documenting everything with forms is still essential, however, but having the subject say and spell needed information later will save you time in post-production and make things easier if you need to contact the person later for something else. Number 5, invest in your gear. This one can't be overstated enough. On my shoots, I continually push my gear to the limits, and having equipment that stands up to the elements and everything that I throw at it is a must. Remember that on run and gun productions, there's no time to be gentle with your gear. Always go for the best of the best, even if it costs a little bit more. This will actually be better long term for you as an investment as you work on more projects. You won't regret spending a little more on the best gear you can. It will pay for itself in the long run. In situations where something goes wrong with your gear and you don't have access to a rental house right away to replace whatever is broken on the go, you'll want to know that a good company that has your trust will also have your back when it's time for repairs. Speaking of gear, in the field, things can go haywire fast. You need to be able to adapt to the scene and to the lighting quickly. This often means you don't always have time to fuss about looking for the right lens, for example, to fit in your camera. Get a good zoom lens that allows you to shoot at different focal lengths. This will save you a good amount of time and headaches later. Number 6, along these same lines, just assume that everything can and will go wrong. When producing run and gun projects, always assume everything that can go wrong absolutely will go wrong. Weather won't cooperate, people will arrive late or not show up at all, lighting will change for no apparent reason, and so forth. Prepare for the unexpected, but be flexible and keep an open mind about how to find creative solutions in the face of any setbacks. The best suggestion I could give you regarding this is to travel light but always be prepared. Remember, with run and gun filmmaking, you have to be ready at a moment's notice. Carrying too much will prevent you from capturing the shots you need right away, just when you actually need them. Ideally, you should invest in gear that is perfect for doing this type of shooting specifically, so it's more sturdy, for example. This will make your life easier down the road. Number 7, check out the location ahead of time if that's possible. Now, I realize this may not always be possible, but do the best you can, even if it means a quick scan of the shooting location before you actually hit record. The scene is important to the story, and you have to know the ins and outs of the location before you even head there. Look for good vantage points as well as interesting items in the area that you want to include in your project. Consider the audio or the sounds emanating from the place and see how you can either eliminate them or incorporate them into the scene if you're shooting video. While doing this, always look for where the light is coming from. There's nothing more important in the shot than lighting. You need to know where the light is coming from. Remember, it's still filmmaking or photography, and it would be great if you could communicate your story by providing good lighting. Looking for natural light in your location, if you can find it, or make sure to bring a portable LED light source if you need to add additional light or if you're shooting inside or whatever, so you always have properly exposed images or footage. If this is making sense to you, but I've got it in the comments section below. My question of the day is, what's your best run and gun shooting tip? Leave a comment below and let us know. I'm sure there's plenty more I didn't include in this video, so comment on one that you know and help out your fellow photographers, videographers, and filmmakers. If you found the information in this video useful, I'd like to hear about it from you. If you liked it and want to see more videos like this, then follow my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films. If you think what you saw was great, please do like it. If you have an opinion, feel free to comment below. If you know someone who could benefit from the information that I provided, please share the video. You can connect with me and my company, Jim Costa Films, on social media and online, on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, LinkedIn, and the web by searching for Jim Costa Films. In fact, I currently have over 4,600 videos on my YouTube channel, Jim Costa Films, so feel free to check out many of my other videos for great tips and suggestions. Thank you for sticking around this long. I mentioned at the beginning about some freebies and training. As a professional video producer and photographer, I've created an absolutely free cheat sheet for you on all the best camera settings to shoot with your DSLR, mirrorless, or video camera that will show you the settings that will allow your photos, particularly your videos, to shine and stand out from the competition. The link to get that cheat sheet is just below in the video description. Best of all, my cheat sheet specializes in shooting video with any type of camera. In it, you'll find all the info you need on important video techniques such as white balance, color temperature, frame rates, and more. I've also created an editing training course for Adobe Premiere Pro. My Quick Start training is designed to get you up and editing video in under 2 hours and includes over 100 tips, tricks, and keyboard shortcuts for video editors that get you started in the program and makes your workflow go much faster. Now, I'm also affiliated with Christina Nicholson, a fellow media veteran like myself who helps businesses and entrepreneurs reach tons of their ideal customers or clients through the power of media without spending big bucks on advertising. I've worked with Christina and used her advice and training successfully myself, so I know from firsthand experience that it works great. The program Christina and I are now offering is called the Media Mentoring Program, and it will help you to take advantage of mainstream media so you can stand out from the competition, because that's not something everyone has access to. Best of all, unlike paid ads and sponsorships, you can gain lots of exposure and credibility to become the go-to brand everyone talks about and wants to do business with without spending a fortune on advertising, because the program is geared to get you free advertising. I'll link to those cheat sheets and training courses in the description below as well. There's videos on both courses that will give you an overview of how they can help you, as well as links to get more information. You can help to support my channel by purchasing my training courses, requesting my free downloads, or by hiring me to shoot and edit for you. Remember, I've also done other videos on filmmaking and video production, and I'll link to those in the description below. Finally, if you followed me for a while now, you know that I have a private community of photographers, videographers, and filmmakers, just like you, on Facebook, where I share other pro tips and tricks. It's called Video Producers and Content Creators. I love new members who want to share their work, learn from others, and also help others based on their own talent, skills, and experiences. The group is private and only for people in the filmmaking, video production, and photography industries that I personally work in myself. It's not a public group like my Facebook page that I talked about earlier. You'll find a link to that group in the description below, so feel free to join it where you can learn even more.